it always felt like maybe there was a way, right? And van life has taught us that we were not made to be contained, not by a home, not by rules, not by the expectations of others. We want to know that we chose to live our lives in a way that allowed our biggest and brightest visions for our future to call the shots.
We're Brittany and Drew, two hopeful explorers who got married, moved into a van, and have been chasing adventures all around the globe ever since.
Subscribe and join the ride.
This is us, back in 2016. We had just spent a year traveling America in a van and fell in love with all of the ways that it was challenging and changing us. So instead of going on your typical sort of honeymoon, 5 days after our wedding, we used our honey fund to fly to England and purchase the Howlin' Yowler.
There's the van!
Named after our late friend Skip Yowell, who unfortunately passed right before our wedding.
Cleaning the Howlin' Yowler.
I know, it's
Every bit and
What was that
bob.
name you said? What do we name the van?
The Howlin' Yowler.
That's right.
This rough and tough pre-loved Ford Transit van that we found on Gumtree, the UK equivalent to eBay, for just 3,000 quid. Somehow that 18 feet of living space was everything we needed and more. We then spent the next 2.5 years driving over 40,000 miles across what we feel is quite possibly the best continent in the world to explore by van. Fast forward to the fall of 2018, we gave our van away to a sweet newlywed couple that we had connected with through common friends that we met in Portugal.
We got, 4 or 5 50-pound bags?
We then returned to the States to reconnect with life back home, and after living in a van without a shower, or water heater, or a fixed bed, or a solar system that would allow us to stay off-grid for longer,
This is how we hook up our water.
Give it a little test.
There it goes.
it was time for an upgrade.
We got this.
And that's how Spirit came to be. Short for Spirit of the Howler, of course. We didn't realize it then, but we unknowingly ended up building the perfect pandemic mobile. And we are so grateful for how the timing of our story played out. And now, as the world begins to slowly open back up, our minds and hearts have begun to open up in new ways too, pulling us in new directions, asking us to trust that we've been guided here all along.
Bom dia!
Good morning.
And welcome to Portugal!
We're at the Praia.
We're here in Albufeira, which was once a fisherman village, but now it is one of the top holiday destinations, especially for our British friends.
It's probably the most bustling place in all of the Algarve.
At least during the season. Right now it's off season, so it's pretty quiet, and our Airbnb, which is less than a mile from the beach, is $40 a night.
40 euros.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's especially commercialized and built up in this area, but we're here because it is very centrally located to the other villages and towns that Drew and I have been focusing our search for land.
Yeah, we can go up
Yes.
to Silves, we can go to Lule, we can go to Monchique. These are just some of the places we're going to be taking you in our next episodes.
That's right. We've been searching for campgrounds, ruins, unique structures to turn into a living situation.
Yeah.
So if you haven't subscribed yet, please be sure to do so. We know that more than half of you who watch and love our videos haven't subscribed, and we need your help to help us reach our full potential.
It really helps our channel when you subscribe. The longer you watch our videos, that helps, as well as hitting that like button. So
That's right.
we greatly appreciate every one of you guys watching.
This next chapter of our lives wouldn't be possible without you and without our patrons who choose to support us even further. So thank you for being here. Thank you for believing in our dream and vision along with us. We can't wait to see where this all goes.
We have a lot of great stuff coming ahead here in Portugal and with our big next step in life. So
We do.
stay tuned.
But right now, all I want to do is get in that water. So
The beach is calling. Let's go.
Vamos lá.
That's chilly.
Whoa. Oh man. Look what washed ashore. And just in time. We want to thank Athletic Greens for always supporting our channel and our bodies in all the ways, in one comprehensive, obsessively researched scoop or travel pack. With over 75 minerals and vitamins, this simplifies what Drew and I have to bring along with us on our adventures, or when we're traveling, we don't have to bring a whole plethora of vitamins. We know that with Athletic Greens, we're gonna get everything that we need, and everything is sourced from the highest quality ingredients. There's ashwagandha, magnesium, calcium, vitamin C, and by signing up using our link below, you will get 5 free bonus travel packs along with a liquid vitamin D supplement that will last you a whole year. We love this. We take it every morning, first thing, for optimal absorption. Now it's your turn, so sign up using our link below. Cheers! You won't regret it. Maybe you'll be hooked for life like we are.
I found 2 shells for you. Yours look good?
Living your best merman life.
My best life. So the big question is, why do we want to live in Portugal?
Drew and I have been living as nomads for 8 years now, and throughout our 6 years of marriage, the only home that we have ever had has been a home on wheels.
We've been on the road for a long time. Our last actual fixed apartment was in Los Angeles in 2014. And then we hopped in our family's van, traveled for a year, and in 2016, we had the grandest honeymoon of them all. We bought a Ford Transit in England and traveled all throughout Europe from 2016 to the middle of 2018. And then after that, came back to the US and built Spirit. We've seen so many incredible places. I think our requirements are quite high, and it has just been a challenge for us to stop rolling.
Except for the fact that on that 2.5-year European honeymoon, the last new country of our trip was Portugal, and that was the first and only place Drew and I ever really decided that we could stay and live forever.
There's so many reasons.
It always felt like maybe there was a way, right? And van life has taught us that we were not made to be contained, not by a home, not by rules, not by the expectations of others. We want to know that we chose to live our lives in a way that allowed our biggest and brightest visions for our future to call the shots, not our fears of the unknown.
And many of you know, earlier this year, we were in California and we were really searching so hard. We thought we might put an offer down on a piece of property. The year before, we were in an area north of Redding, and we thought, maybe we're gonna buy a campground. We had a lot of options that seemed appealing, but none of them felt actually to be the right one, nor was the price point right, etc., etc.
Everything has guided us to this moment, this time, and this place. As first-time home buyers / land buyers, we have a lot of questions and unknowns. And right now, we have to get back to our place because we have a phone call with a very important person.
Yeah,
so
we gotta jump on that call.
Yeah.
All right. Some of you may or may not know Andre from Sailing La Vagabond's YouTube channel. He's a really awesome friend of ours. We know each other through Instagram. His dad's a realtor. He lives here in Portugal. He caught wind that we were thinking of moving here. And on a side note, Andre just bought a super rad green van.
The green machine!
that he's gonna be converting. And so he offered up his dad's real estate services, and we're gonna be hopping on a phone call here to fill him in on what we're looking for. So let's see what he's got up his sleeve. I'm Brittany and this is Drew.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Luis.
Did you grow up in Lisbon?
Yes, no.
Oh, wow.
I did. Oh,
Wow.
here in Lisbon.
Wow.
if there's any sort of unique structures or land with ruin, because
basically we want a renovation project first
Yeah.
and foremost, and it'd be a big part of what we do through our YouTube channel to show the progress and transformation of that coming to life. And since we've been moving for so long, we really need to put a post in the ground and like stay in one place.
We're
and
tired.
we absolutely love Portugal, and so
we just had a great conversation with Luis, and Luis did tell us that the Algarve averages about 330 days of sun per year, not just 300. So doing a solar setup would be a pretty big possibility.
we definitely want land that has water on it, because we don't necessarily want to have to be connected to the mains.
3 acres is a comfortable amount of land. It could be less if it's a unique structure. I think we're willing to throw everything else to the wind if it is a unique structure. If it's a ruin or something that we can love on and bring back to life, we are all about that. We want to get our hands in on a project.
Portugal, depending on the municipality and the kind of district or county it's in, is offering different incentives to those who want to invest in the area, beautify the land, fix up these old structures.
Yeah, as if Portugal's, possible to make even more beautiful.
Yeah.
So ruins are high up on our list.
There's also a big thing that if the structure that's on the land was built before 1951, then that means it didn't actually have a habitation license or an occupancy permit. Anything after that is either permitted or not permitted, and it's really clear. So we need to find something that we can take a plan to the council, get it approved, and get working with an architect, working with the engineer, and then hopefully hire some builders or do the work ourselves.
So ideally we want something built after 1951 or before?
It's up in the air, because we know anything that's older than that won't have a habitation permit, and there'll just be a lot more to
involvement.
Yeah, involved with it. But having Luis on our team is going to really help.
Yeah. Also, taking our budget into account, we're looking like somewhere $100K and under. Paying with money is a lot quicker of a process. Having to take out a mortgage can take 4 to 6+ months, we just learned.
And we're not sure if we could actually take a mortgage out in the US based on our company versus
Portugal.
only going through Portugal here. So there's different things. We have to talk to a lawyer, find out just information.
Some of our other requirements, which again are flexible, would be being near a grocery store or a school for our potential, possible, hopefully, children.
Just even a store to go get building materials. Back when we were building
true.
Spirit, I was constantly going to Ace Hardware and to the construction big box retailers for getting goods. So
Yeah, and having a community nearby that is young, creative, maybe there's a digital nomad scene going on.
Which there happens to be a lot of in southern Portugal, along with Porto and Lisbon. But we realized from our time being in Lisbon before that we really just don't want to be back in a city. We lived in Los Angeles for a long time. We absolutely adore it. We loved it. But after being in a van and seeing so many open spaces, we know that's more for us now.
Yeah, I think peace is quite possibly one of my top requirements, because we've been definitely spoiled being able to park in the perfect spot with no one else around and a beautiful view, the sound of the birds or the waves or the trees. Fig tree, maybe?
Yeah, it's definitely harder in certain parts of the country because it's more arid and dry, so it kind of has that deserty feel, and I don't know if that's exactly for us.
We
but
get all crusty.
I do love those cork trees and those big oaks, and just having a canopy over us would be nice.
Yeah. I'm excited for what he'll find. He's gonna see if there's other properties that, we haven't quite seen yet. And at the same time, he said that he was going to get back to us about what municipalities are offering different incentives for newcomers to move there, tax breaks and stuff like that. Also, because we have to apply for a visa, the D7 visa is what it's called, and that's for independent workers.
People with passive incomes, whether it's a pension, a lot of retirees come here and apply for the D7 because of that income that's coming from another place.
So we have to be able to put an address on that application that has us signing a lease for 12 months.
Yeah.
But if we could purchase a property before we start applying for the visa, then we wouldn't have to do that. But Luis let us know that there are places that allow you to rent a room for the purpose of using that address on your visa application, which is very interesting. There's a lot to learn about this process. especially being in a new country with a new language that we're still trying to learn as first-time home/land buyers.
I don't know about you, but I know I'm going to be spending a long time learning that language.
Yeah.
I got to
both
work
are.
on understanding what the letters and the pronunciation is all about.
It's very different, but it's possible, and we're willing to do what it takes because learning the language is a huge sign of respect and friendship to the locals. You know, it means a lot to them when you learn that part of their culture, I think. And it allows us to connect in a way that just speaking English, even though English is widely spoken here in Portugal,
Especially in certain regions like this one in particular.
yeah, because it's so popular with expats. People from all across Europe and the world come to Portugal to live because they feel that the values here, the pace of life here, the fresh food, the fact that Portugal was just named one of the safest countries in the world. And I think it has some of the best year-round weather in all of Europe. However it happened, it called us back, and yeah.
You guys have heard us talk about this place for a long time, so we're excited to be back. We have a lot coming your way.
And we can't wait to see where this next chapter takes us all. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet and tap that like. You can also join us over on Patreon because your support does and means more than you know. You guys are the best. See you back here soon.